Hi, Margaret. How are you this
Hi, Chuck.
morning?
I'm doing
Great,
great.
great. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing your story about what it's like to deal with our councilman's office. So, from what I understand, you called him around the first week of January, right? Not January 6th. You waited till that blew over, but you waited a couple of days and you called Mike Bonin. And now, what caused you to feel you had to reach out to your councilman?
Our local encampment, which is about a mile from our house, it started growing so big that the overflow started spilling into our neighborhood. So I realized you have to do something about the main encampment if you want to do something about the overflow coming into the other parts of the neighborhood. So that's when I started to work on dealing with the main encampment.
So you call Mike Bonin's office and you say this to him, and how are you received?
It wasn't so easy. I didn't even know about Mike Bonin's office at first. I reached out to the neighborhood prosecutor in my local area, and she explained to me, because I came to her with the wheelchair violations and the nuisance with the human waste and trash. And she said that everything has to go through the council before it can go to LAPD. And when she
And I,
said council,
I get stuck on something you just said. Sorry to interrupt, but neighborhood prosecutor? What is that?
they're with the city attorney's office, and I was able to get a friend to recommend using the neighborhood prosecutor service. And our neighborhood prosecutor, her name is, I believe, is Veronica de la Cruz. You can pull up the yes, Veronica de la Cruz. This is a West LA neighborhood prosecutor district. Veronica de la Cruz. Her information's up there. I contacted her. She got back to me right away, and she handled the connection between me and Mike Bonin's office. So I was immediately able to start talking to someone in Mike Bonin's office, but that was back in January. It's different
January.
now. Yeah.
Well, Ben, so you get this introduction from your local neighborhood prosecutor, and you share with Bonin's office, and then what's the first reaction that you get from the office?
They 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 seem to take my concerns seriously at first. They seem to want to help in their way at first. And the way they help is by bringing resources into the area. And by resources, it means sanitation services. And through our county, the sanitation services are provided through the city of LA. And he said that he would start using services and resources in that encampment. And that's initially what he said. And I took that to mean he was going to get rid of the encampment, but that's not what that meant.
Silly me, right? So what? So you did the sanitation people come out eventually at some point?
They started coming out, but it's a glorified trash service. Just like every week they pick up your trash. That's what these people did. But then they were coming and they stopped coming. They
Mm-hmm.
always stop coming.
So how long did they stay coming? A month? 3 weeks?
They came the first time, and then maybe they came a couple of more times spread out in a couple of months, and then nothing.
To try to get
Nothing.
them to come back, and they said, "Trash? What trash?" Or what happened after that?
You really have to go through all the hoops again. Call your neighborhood prosecutor, ask them to connect you, because the communication between me and Bonin's office had uh, been irreparable at that point. When I realized he wasn't going to get rid of the encampment and he was just going to help these people live there, that was what I didn't know was going to happen. When I realized he was just helping them live there, our communication broke down.
And you never spoke to him. You only would speak with his people who work for him, right? Oh, like
Yes,
Ben Lazibnik.
Ben Lazebnik, he was responsive at first. And I don't even think he works there. I could be wrong. I know there's a high turnaround rate in Mike Bonin's office, but this was our initial conversation. As you can see, He's going to get the care team to come visit the encampment. And, they seem like they're a knight in shining armor. And it's good when they first come. But that's really all they do, is they just handle that one complaint. And they really just leave it until someone complains again and they care enough to do something about it.
So what have you been able to do about the encampment? Is still on the street where it was?
Yes, and there was a big fire last week. There's always fires, but apparently they're burning their trash because Mike Bonin's not sending sanitation services like he said he would. So the trash is building up, they're burning it, and then this one fire burn just got out of hand, and it actually burned up the side of the brush along the hill, along with four encampments, and one of them was made all of wood. So it was really a serious fire.
Oh my, was this in the day or the night that this happened?
This was in the morning at 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, good morning. Yes.
Good morning. Good morning.
But fortunately, there were no structures or other areas burned as well, so that you dodged that bullet.
Correct.
After the fire started, have you been back in touch with Bonin's office at all?
I don't deal with them anymore after January. There's really no point. I realized what they were, which was completely useless. So what I do is I go back to my neighborhood prosecutor, Veronica de la Cruz. I contacted her. I contacted another strong ally, is Sergeant Lavinson with the LAPD Pacific Division. Yes, that's, and there he is. He is amazing. The amount of homeless encampment that he covers is all of the West Side. That's a lot of encampments, but I reach out to him for my encampment, and he makes me feel like my encampment is the only encampment that matters.
Wait a second. What you're saying that he is like an encampment whisperer for the LAPD? Is that
he's in charge of the encampments? Correct.
And
yes.
And what's you mean from all areas that he know? So did he know people by name who were in your area?
Yes. I mean, maybe by name, maybe not by name. I don't know them by name. I'll just describe them like, hey, do you know the lady who always sings the top of her lungs on the microphone? Oh yeah, I know her, that kind of thing. So yeah, he goes there. He says every shift he goes there. He's very responsive. He always calls me back. He always emails me back, and he always does something after I complain. And just having an ally like that is so important to me, because I can't do this alone, and I've completely stopped going to Bonin's office. So between the LAPD and the prosecutor's office, they go to Bonin's office for me, I guess.
Huh. And has there anything been different? You talked about this started in January. Now we're talking at early August. Is there been any substantive different? I mean, it's great you have support, but which we all need, and include, and happy people have stepped up here, but the situation remains kind of the same.
It's probably getting worse. I did incorporate one more agency this last time around, as I also called our local fire department, LAPD, Station 59, Captain Smith. I'll never forget those words. He says them when he picks up. Station 59, Captain Smith. It's so catchy. You can't forget it. But he's also a very cool guy, Captain Smith. And I called him for the first time after the fire, and I said, hey, they're hoarding a lot of wood all around the tents, between the tents, on the bottom of the tents. If it catches fire again, I really do worry about a fatality. Can you please come out there and show them what's a fire hazard? And I even heard that they drop off free fire extinguishers. So he said he would stop by the encampment and take a look, and he told me to call him back in a week, which is amazing. When they tell me to call them back, I am so happy, because they want to start a dialogue and work together. So that's
so in other words, that's how a city should function.
yes, yes. But it
And
takes a lot of work to get there. You know they can't get rid of me is the problem. So they're like, I gotta deal with her because she's just gonna show up at my door.
And I guess it would be easier to get rid of you if they wanted to than the councilman who's there. But we have a mechanism to get rid of that councilman. So
yes.
Have you been taking out and getting anybody to sign or anything? Are you involved with that aspect of the recall movement?
I am canvassing West LA. I canvass a little bit of Brentwood because my son goes to school over there. So it's very a mixed reaction. A lot of people don't want to be bothered. A lot of people want to sign it, but they can't at that moment. And a lot of people really, really are happy to sign it at that very moment. So it's very mixed, but it is very discouraging when people just don't even care and they're so bothered by your very presence. And it's something affecting them and their home and their lives and their safety. So I just find it very puzzling that they don't care.
Well, we're really glad you care, and we really thank you a lot for joining us and this morning, and look forward to talking to you again, especially about how this whole situation that we have in the city with homelessness, how it affects young families like yourselves.
Right.
So we'll be talking about that hopefully within the next 4 months.
Great.